Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Area leaders tonight denouncing a video showing a confrontation that's attracted national attention across social media.
The recording is between a now former Cinnabon employee and a Somali couple taken at a mall in Ashwaubenon this past week. You may have seen the video showing the exchange lasting several minutes in which the worker, who we are not identifying, can be heard using the N-word and admitting she's a racist. In this First Alert update, Drew Best explains why the Green Bay mayor is now calling for action as a result of the incident.
Just days after this shocking video was taken at Bay Park Square Mall in Ashwaubenon,
I am racist, and I'll say that to the whole entire world.
As well as President Donald Trump's criticisms of the Somali community on the national stage.
I mean, it's considered about the worst country in the world, right? They have no military, they have no nothing.
Green Bay Mayor Eric Genrich now calling for Common Council to vote on a resolution standing against anti-Somali hate.
It's just a very common sense, simple demonstration of the support that we are showing for the Somali community. The refugee community, the immigrant community represent the best of who we are as Green Bay residents, but also as Americans.
At Thursday's press conference, we also heard from Saeed Hassan, the executive director of Kamsa and a Somali American, praising the mayor for his efforts.
These are law-abiding citizens who have nothing to do with anything that was said either on television or via social media. So it's an unfortunate uptake of negative rhetoric.
The Republican Party of Brown County called Thursday's press conference, quote, a headline grab in a post on social media. It reads in part, quote, if Mayor Genrich has bandwidth for last-minute media events and feel-good resolutions, he should explain why taxpayers are footing higher bills while infrastructure crumbles, crime against individuals rises, and homelessness reaches new highs, end quote. The mayor responding after the press conference.
To me, that's kind of baffling, right? If you're not able to stand up for your friends and neighbors and denounce hate wherever it comes from, I don't understand what your values are.
This resolution celebrating the contributions of the Somali community will be voted on by the Common Council next Tuesday. But in the long term, Mayor Genrich says there is always more that can be done to combat hate in this community. Reporting in Green Bay, Drew Best, Action 2 News.